Oh shit, you're gonna start on your. What if I started laughing at that and we just start and I sound like a crazy person, huh? What are we gonna do then?
You act as if you'd laugh at anything I say. That would require me being funny.
Oh please, I laugh on the inside because I hate you on the outside.
If you didn't already have a kismesis.
Honestly, I might be trying to make a kismesis harem, not gonna lie.
I hate rum.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible pun. Anyway, speaking of terrible...
Speaking of terrible things...
Welcome back to this shitstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to a thing that we were talking about earlier, about how the unknown is what tends to work best with both horror and comedy. Welcome to something that does terrible as horror because of the fact that it's not really intriguing or surprising. There's nothing startling.
Oh fuck, sorry. My brain transcended there for a moment because I got distracted. I'm watching a stream and they're playing Dream Daddy. And he made Goku, so my mind was just like, what the fuck? What am I looking at?
I need to play that at some point.
Yeah, you really like your daddies, don't you?
Honestly, I'm just thinking back to when Chilled played it, and I swear Chilled Chaos is possibly the only person that I've ever seen try to go for the bad boys, despite being a straight man. Because he immediately went with, oh god, I can't remember his name. It's the leather jacket dude.
Was it the dark skin guy or the light skin guy? Because I think there's two people.
The dude you meet at the bar.
Oh, the dude that you can just fuck?
When you meet him but right that away. Also immediately rejects you afterwards.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, that was fun. Now fuck off. Like, he went for him and was disappointed whenever it didn't turn out well. It's like, what the fuck were you expecting? Apparently what all those the person that all those incels and nice guys online are talking about that only go after the bad boys aren't women. It's just Chilled Chaos, this one Italian dude from New York. Currently living in Texas.
Wow, that's a lot of that's a lot of different things this man is.
With a World of Warcraft addiction.
Ugh. Well, now I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, he's like been working out a lot more since he was in high school. It's kind of funny when you look at any old pictures of him because it's like this big dude, how he's kind of built.
Nice.
So he turned his life around. He's also married now. So that's...
Ooh. Is he married to John Cena? Dun, 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 dun.
I think he's currently doing a roommate thing with some of the other members of the Derp crew, because that's like the whole like YouTube group he's part of, and he's also done some stuff with Rooster Teeth recently.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, in that case, did you read your line? Am I just dumb?
I did not.
Wow, okay, I transcended so hard. I thought it'd been like a year or something. My bad.
We spent an entire year reading this garbage. It was that bad. Anyway.
It's already 2020.
Oh, God. Hopefully the election turned out better than last time.
Oh, right. It is election year coming up, isn't it?
Yep, every 4 years.
Fuck.
Oh, God.
All right, boys. I'm going to vote myself for Mr. Bernie Sandor.
It's so disappointing that we live in a world now where insulting Nazis has become problematic.
People are just taking cancel culture and just PC culture way too far.
I don't know why I just suddenly imagined a neo-Nazi being really upset that they got insulted. Like, that's not very PC of you, bro. Dude!
Dude! It's not very PC to be a Nazi!
It's not very PC of you, bro. You literally want to execute Hispanics! What the fuck they ever do to you?
I don't get American culture today, not gonna lie.
I mean, the best parts of it are the parts that are taken from other people. Well, except for 1930s Germany. But
yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of America, though. We live in an area with so many different fucking people. We can just shove things together.
The best part of America is its cultural diversity. It's quite possibly the most culturally diverse country on Earth. And yet you have people that are all like talking about how like patriotism is the greatest thing on Earth, and yet they can't stand the things that actually make America kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that we got all these different kinds of people.
This is America for Americans.
I really hate the fact that you can find restaurants of like 5 different genres within a block of each other.
That's just the worst thing, isn't it?
I hate it how I can like just within a walking distance find a place that serves Indian food and a place that serves fucking Italian. And then right next door a place that serves sushi.
Yeah.
Anyway. We're gonna the links to this is the description. If you're gonna Control F to figure out what line we're on, the line that I'm starting with is he had known Kyle personally for years. For as long as Tom remembered, Kyle had was almost never busy for him and practically hung out with him almost every chance he got. The idea of Kyle being too busy for anything outside his dorm room was starting to sound more ridiculous, let alone being too busy for his friends. More concerning thoughts. What? Oh.
F, just poor guy.
Can get an F in the chat. More concerning thoughts began to pop up in Tom's head as he continued washing himself rigorously. What if something really was keeping Kyle busy?
I'm just so worried.
He's just so dirty.
Hold on. You have to see this monstrosity real quick.
Hold up. Oh dear God, is it the stream?
Yes, look at the daddy they made. Look at this daddy.
Oh God!
Please don't accept this. He's still on the character creation screen. He can save this, but I don't think he is.
It's Bara Danny Sexbang doing a blap. Also bold.
Yep.
So, Bara Vsauce.
I'm gay too, and this is not homophobia. You're just a coward. What the fuck? Okay, a muted stream is confusing me, but alright. Alright. Anyways, is it my line?
Yes.
What if he was studying for extra credit? Tom corrected himself as he knew Kyle wasn't exactly the ambition student, so it couldn't possibly be that for that reason. Maybe Kyle had family problems. While it seemed more likely than extra credit, it also couldn't be the case, as Kyle never did seem to have a close relationship with his own folks. At least
yeah, my grandma died, but I'm not close with my family right now, so I'm not going to go to the funeral.
Honestly, that'd be me. At least not enough to leave college to help them out. Maybe he was seeing someone, a date, perhaps. Yeah, a date for 3 weeks, buddy.
You've never gone on a 3-week date?
No.
I mean, at that point, it just becomes a marathon to see how long you can keep it up.
Going world record for the longest date. Could you imagine having to define what a date was? To have one that long?
We have been going from restaurant to park to restaurant to movie theater.
When do they sleep?
To museum. To each other's bed.
When do they sleep?
Well, I mean, they still sleep. It's just at one person's house. The other. That's how you marathon that. Tom never bothered to look into Kyle's personal life, but it'd be amazing if Kyle actually did find love.
Wow, dude.
The Virgin Kyle, the Chad Tom.
The Virgin Kyle dies.
The Virgin Kyle eaten by Sonic. What
Chad Tom lives long enough to write the story.
Oh god. Oh shit, no, I need to get back to that because I suddenly just thought back to that one chess version of the Chad meme. I needed to find that. Chess. The board game, chess.
Oh, I thought you said the Chad chest, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm gonna look that up now. The Chad chest.
Oh, God. Darker thoughts began to appear in Tom's mind the more he thought about it. Did something actually happen? Did something happen to Kyle? No, it can't be that he found someone. No, that couldn't be the case. If he were found in a ditch somewhere, it would have at least hit the news. Debatable. Nowadays, it's not murders that make the news, it's mass murder.
There actually is a Chad chest thing, but it's for Binding of Isaac. It's the Virgin Darkroom versus the Chad chest.
The Chad chest versus the Virgin. The Virgin chest versus the Chad mimic. Still, the idea that something happened to Kyle lingered in Tom's mind.
The Virgin poser versus the Chad mimic. Okay, these are getting weird. Okay, he remembered the letter that came with the disc. As he dried himself off, he began to realize how weird it all was. The way it was written seemed off. It was like Kyle had completely lost his mind as he wrote it. The way it kept going on about how great this game is and how jittery the handwriting seemed.
Oh, God damn it, I can't seem to find it.
Is it the Virgin King versus the Chad Knight?
No, it was one where he was, like, they were playing chess. But I'm not finding the actual one.
The Virgin Chess versus the Chad World Champion?
No, because it... Oh, okay, let me see. Turns a nation of 5 million into chess superpower all by himself. Comes and goes from press conferences at ceremonies when he feels like it, waving his arms in every direction. He played every world championship since 2013, won them all. Yeah, that's not the one I'm looking for, because it was like the whole thing with like the Chad. It was like thinks out every move like far ahead of time or something like that.
The Virgin Soy Boy versus the Chad Neckbeard?
Oh, God. Why does it not surprise me that that's... Ugh. Like, I'm hoping that that's supposed to, like, just a like satire the whole thing, but knowing how some people think that soy boys are an actual thing, it wouldn't surprise me.
What's a soy boy?
Basically, the idea is some bullshit study that came out a while back saying that soy products are lowering lower a person's testosterone levels.
Oh.
They don't. The more likely issue is actually has to do with pollution as well as medication that ends up in recycled water.
Oh.
Because of the whole fact of, like, a lot of medication that you take ends up still being, like, excreted from the body in waste. And while gray water is an important thing to, like, recycle, that way you're not just draining the surrounding area of mass amounts of water, some stuff still doesn't get filtered out properly, and so you do still end up with trace amounts of medication. And so you can end up with that sort of thing happening. But at the same time, similar things have been seen happening with wildlife of testosterone levels being lowered in different animals, so it is quite possible that it is actually due to pollution. It's just people are fucking idiots. It's kind of like those the whole thing of how the NPC meme started up, which was a study talking about the whole thing of... Damn it! Basically, this study a while back talking about how how not everyone actually thinks in a voice. In fact, most people don't actually, and when you really get down to it, most of the time your thoughts are actually more in the form of images. However, a bunch of dumbasses on the internet took this to mean that, like, the majority of people aren't capable of, like, full self-aware cognizance or whatever the fuck. Despite the fact that if you actually email the people who did that study, they're like, no, that's not what the study is about at all. This has nothing to do with critical thinking ability. This just has to do with how people process their thoughts. But no, we need to have it to where making some shit tier meme about how everyone that doesn't think the exact same thing that we do is an NPC controlled by the government or whatever the shit.
Wait, people think in images?
Majority of the time, yeah.
Really?
Usually, most of your thoughts are perceived more in the form of images than in actual sound.
I guess so. It's just...
You don't typically think about how you think.
No, I don't. And I
Because
mostly
it's not
think about
really
I'm
that.
talking to myself. I don't really picture things, but honestly, that could be because I have ADHD, so it's in my mind for a second, and then I'm on to the
Yeah.
next thing.
Like, it's the whole thing, is I tend to see both. It's like, okay, both the sounds, and then flashes of, like, ideas and shit.
Yeah.
But no, it's this whole thing of, like, that study being completely taken out of context by a bunch of dumbasses online, combined with this one, like, fucking 4chan post about... I think that there's kind of a reincarnation thing going on, but there's only a finite amount of souls, so you end up with people nowadays not having souls because of how high the population is.
Yeah.
And people wonder why I tend to avoid.
You just had me looking at the r/version versus Chad subreddit, and I've just
That one I'm pretty sure is mostly satire.
yeah, the virgin hanged emo versus the Chad autist who thought that the emo was a pinata.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
That's fucked up.
It is very fucked up.
Have you said your line?
No. The virgin
Okay.
content creator versus the Chad karma whore. Okay. The next day, Tom sat in his dorm room thinking about what what could have happened to Kyle.
No. I don't. He remembered the letter.
You remember the letter that came with the? No, I thought I said that line.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Did
read
you?
that line.
Did you see the thing about how great the game is or whatever?
Yes, I remember saying
Okay.
that. That's the reason I remember I said that.
Okay. Tom had thought about going around campus to ask if anyone who knew Kyle noticed if he was being strange 3 weeks prior, but he decided against it as he began to consider the possibility of getting no leads out of it. Kyle wasn't exactly Mr. Popular in college. Hell, he didn't even gain any notoriety in high school.
I mean, who worries about you?
What?
Nobody cares about popularity in college. At least I don't think so. I don't talk to enough people in college to get that
I'm gonna
much
say most of
information.
the people that I know that like are more chatty in college are people that weren't popular in high school.
Yeah, and if they're chatty in
Because
college, it's just probably they like going to parties, so they know a lot of people.
like, not even that. It's just a whole thing of like, once you're in college, no one gives a shit about that sort of shit anymore. Everyone's too busy having panic attacks and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna make friends. what? What would his popularity in high school have to do with his popularity in college?
I don't know. Clearly
Unless it's
this is
like
written by someone who hasn't gone to college yet.
I don't think so. What? Yeah, I mean, I guess take it from someone who was mostly ignored in his teenage years. By which I mean the few years before he ended up entering that scrub session. But it doesn't exactly correlate. Yes, that's right. I was 4'8" when I entered the session. God, I started off short.
Is it my line? The next
Yeah, it's your line.
the next day, Tom sat in a storm thinking about what could have happened to Kyle. However, all thoughts about the letter and Kyle's disappearance went by the wayside as Tom heard a knock on the door. Thinking it might have been one of his friends, he walked toward the door and opened it. It wasn't one of our friends. It was a man. Ooh.
None of my friends are men. Even Kyle. Kyle is actually a trans woman who has yet to pick out their new name. Anyway.
Sorry, I keep ascending out of my consciousness, so I can't laugh properly.
An average size, somewhat lanky looking man in his late 20s.
Ooh,
He had a
late
brown,
20s.
untidy comb over and a 5 o'clock shadow, and wore an open suit jacket and white shirt and a green necktie. I'm hoping it's a button-down shirt.
Nah, man, it's an unbuttoned shirt.
Okay, it's just a t-shirt. It's like some shit tier Nostalgia Critic cosplay. Or a Nostalgia Critic cosplay. Hands in his pockets, looking a bit disgruntled. Did he have a shitty hat? The man looked at
Now
Tom
you
and
just make me think of people who cosplay YouTubers, and I'm really concerned that people might do that now.
I mean, people do, and there are some that kind of look interesting. But
Why would you cosplay a YouTuber? I mean, no offense to YouTubers, but like,
it depends on whether or not the YouTuber is the kind of person that's more or less a character.
yeah.
Like, you did have people back when Jacksepticeye was green cosplaying him.
When he was green.
When he had green hair.
But that's just green hair and a t-shirt.
Well, green hair, stubble, and a t-shirt. Most of the times it would be more crossplay, so it would be a woman who did the whole fake stubble thing using mascara, shaved the sides of her head, dyed her hair green.
I've learned about a new type of cosplay today.
YouTuber crossplay? Or just
cosplay in general about YouTubers.
Oh.
I wouldn't do it personally, but then again, you know.
I mean, sometimes you just need an excuse to cross-dress, so you dress up as a YouTuber.
I almost debated doing a cross-dressing thing for cosplay once. But, you know, I never did it because I was fat. And that character had an exposed navel, so...
I was about to say, because...
that's the only... Because then I just have my stomach pulled out, and as hilarious that would look, I don't want to, you know... I don't want people to see that shit.
I'm trying to remember. I've seen one person cross-play as Ursula, which that one actually kind of makes sense considering the fact that Ursula was actually dressed as based off of, I believe, a cross-dresser in the first place.
Nice.
I think Divine was a cross-dresser. They might have actually been a trend. I don't. I don't look too heavily into Divine's career.
Yeah.
I mean, the most I ever needed to know about it was the man sings with his asshole. Pink flamingos. Anyway. No.
But he...
Basically just like doing the whole... I'm trying to... like that whole thing that Jim Carrey would do on like SNL where he'd just like grab each side of his ass and do that.
What the...
Like,
I never watched SNL, so no.
Basically that. Only the man is not wearing pants.
Oh,
and
gosh.
It's a song that he's doing that to.
Please, no.
Yeah. Hands in his pockets, looking a bit disgruntled. The man looked at Tom and then said, "Thomas Miller?" Tom hesitated and responded, "Most people call me Tom, but yes." The man then pulled out what Tom could identify as his a detective's badge.
If he doesn't have the papers, don't let him in.
"There's something I need to show you," begins unzipping pants.
Ooh-woo?
It's like that one fucking scene from one of the Twilight movies. Where Jacob reveals the supernatural to fucking Bella's dad.
What the hell?
Yeah, basically by like revealing the fact that he's a shapeshifter. And the way he does this is like, now, there's some things you need to understand, and then begins stripping so he can turn into a giant wolf without shredding his own clothes.
And the man's probably just like,
And Charlie's just like, hold on now. I'm flattered, but you're like 17.
Please put your clothing back on, sir. I think it would be like what if it was just a power move and he just ripped his clothes off? Or like just turned into a wolf, just breaking all of his clothes, just like, bitch.
I mean, then you have the whole thing of he needs to turn back and he no longer has pants.
Then he just borrows he borrows Mustache Dad's pants.
He borrows Charlie's... just Vampire Bella. "Dad, why do you not have pants?" It's a long story.
She see Jacobs comes out of the other room with his
wearing pants but no shirt. Like Charlie's actually wearing like a button-down shirt, but it's like long enough to where it covers up his underwear.
Mm-hmm. Shit, I gotta go for a second. I'll be right back. Sorry.
God damn it. Okay. You know, it would probably be funnier if it weren't for the fact that Jacob is underage. Because everyone is underage in Twilight except for the characters that aren't, and even then, they're typically physically underage. And you know, that makes things a lot less sexy when everyone's underage. Or at least it should. Unless you have some serious problems, you fucking weeb. Ay. I mean, we've already said it before. Twilight is just bad, like just a bad shoujo manga. Which is nearly impossible to differentiate from a bad shonen manga. Because both of them have similar terrible tropes. Like useless female characters who don't really contribute anything to the plot except for some sort of, like, vague, poorly done romantic subplot that doesn't really go anywhere important, but for some reason people thought was important to add. Which, again, being as none of those artists, much like Stephanie Meyer, none of those artists deserve massive amounts of shit piled on them. And just as similar, a lot of manga and anime ends up having some pretty racially distressing things. After all, just look at any of the Native American characters from the Fate series. Yeah, you want something that makes you uncomfortable. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, what if it was Sitting Bull? But, you know, sexy. Or, no, wait, no, it wasn't. Who the fuck is that one Fate, like, Native American Fate character? Oh, God, well, the word's not Kilimanjaro. That's not even the right one. Oh, fuck. I forgot the name of the person that the character is based off of. This is a whole thing of like, oh, you want King Arthur but sexy? Sure, yeah, go ahead. Probably don't go with a nearly extinct group of marginalized people, though. Don't try to sex appeal them. It's part of the reason why Pocahontas was a terrible movie. Oh, God. Geronimo. I think it was Geronimo? Oh, God, now I'm gonna have to look this up. Fate. Native American character. Nope, not Native Son, not Native Son. Let me see. Native American anime. Why is that a thing? Oh my god. Don't sexualize the Native Americans. Bad enough that they already have a disproportionate rate of being sexually assaulted. Like, dear God. Like, I don't know, there's just something, like, really goddamn, like, uncomfortable about that. Just that whole thing. Oh, God damn it. I know that there are some in there, and I can't remember who the fuck it is. Back the fuck up. Talking to a bug. Magical Native American. But holy shit, Zane is taking a while. All by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself. Yeah. Oh, there's the whole I think part of the whole thing is also the fact that it's also coming from Japan, a country that very much has a history of colonialist tendencies, or imperialist. That's the word. Imperialist tendencies, which probably shouldn't have the historically imperialist nation doing something like that with Native Americans. Like, there's nothing wrong with portraying them. It's just when you do them for your cheap sex appeal shit. And your magic Native American shit. Like, probably shouldn't do that. Just... And Pan race doesn't hold the same sort of historical context and shit in Japan. Don't have just horrible portions of their history devoted to things done just because someone was a slightly different shade than they were. Not entirely. There is also kind of like general opinion throughout the country of Korean and Chinese people, other Eastern Europeans, as well as the fact that their assumption that apparently the only English teachers can be white, despite the fact that if someone came from an English-speaking country, they should be able to, have at least a grasp on the English language, particularly if that's the job they're applying for. Oh, God. Well, guess it's good to know that if anyone listens to this one, I will in fact be called an SJW again. Hooray! No, who cares? I was already bitching about this whole soy boy mentality and fucking NPC meme. Another dumbass shit from the internet. Yeah, it's bad enough that you have online costume shops that have like an entire fucking collection of sexy Native American women. Because, again, it's not uncomfortable. Totally not. It's totally okay to just sexualize an entire group of people for being different. That's why we had to age Pocahontas up in the Disney movie. And then hook her up with Mel Gibson. Should I have been reading while he's gone? Who knows? Probably. I mean, after all, it's only been about a half hour. Not since he left, since... Holy shit, how long has he been gone? I don't know. Will he ever return? Who knows? Maybe the rest of this will just be me rambling incoherently for God knows how long. Anyone out there see the whole thing about Galarian Ponyta? That ought to be interesting. I wonder what Galarian Rapidash looks like. Will we get an evolution specific just to Galaria for fucking Rapidash? Just like a new Pokemon? I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. Who the fuck knows at this point? I don't know. I'm just kind of hoping for more like another evolution of Dreadnought or something instead of just a small baby turtle. Oh, who can say? That'll be interesting. Oh, boy. And Zane's icon right now in Discord is just a Lucky Star GIF, so I currently just have that blue-haired midget winking at me while doing the whole finger gun thing. So that's a thing. Let's see. If you kill him, he only comes back strong. Okay. I don't know. It's just a very interesting time we live in right now. Good. No. I don't know. It's not really like I'm saying anything of importance. Honestly, saying about as much of importance as anyone who unironically wears a shirt with the Joker on it does. Anyway, hi, you're back.
Sorry, I almost shit my pants. I had to do something.
It's one of those situations where you were listening in on what I was rambling about the entire time.
No, this time I didn't.
Okay. It got weird at parts.
Well, I'll just go back and watch the recording. Anyways, you read anything, or we stay exactly where we were?
Exactly where we left off. You're gonna find an interesting part where I started complaining about that one character from Fate, who's a sexualized Native American.
Fate what? Like just like Fate, that entire
the
thing?
Fate series. Yeah, I can't remember which one, but it's like this one actual Native American person that I'm pretty sure was a man, but let's turn him into a sexy lady. Because, that's not uncomfortable with a nearly extinct version of nearly extinct group of marginalized people.
They do that with a lot of people.
Yes, but it wasn't a nearly extinct group of marginalized people.
I'm pretty sure they've done it with other things.
Yes, but I'm talking about specifically with Native Americans. That's the part that makes it uncomfortable.
But I'm pretty sure it's uncomfortable for everyone who is a fan of the actual things.
I don't think most people will give a shit if you gender bent King Arthur. It's more of a whole thing of like
They
the
did it with
fact that
Jack the Ripper too, if I recall.
again, who the fuck cares about Jack the Ripper? Yeah, sure, make him sexy. Who cares? There's a difference between that and people who got completely dicked over by history.
I'm pretty
Particularly
sure.
with an entire group of people who most of the representation in media is either magic, like magic Native American, or sex icon. Like that goddamn terrible Pocahontas movie that Disney made.
Pretty sure it's just all around just insulting, and I think it's, nobody's safe from them, so whatever.
Again, but like who cares? Like the whole thing of who cares if you make some like random European person like sexy. It's the whole thing of like it's like that like fucking online shops that do like, oh, let's do the sexy gypsy costumes and and like the fucking sexy like Native Americans and shit. It's like, how about ya don't?
I
There's
think it's
nothing
more
wrong with.
okay because they're doing it to everyone, but alright.
Well, no, it like not everyone. It's not an equal opportunity target type of thing, though. Whenever an imperialist nation does this to another group of imperialists, that's one thing. When
I
you
didn't
do
know
it
that
to a
the
group of people,
Japanese were the ones who imperialized America.
they didn't imperialize America, but they very much have an
Exactly, so
imperial.
it's not
They
the
very much have an
Americans doing this, so who cares?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they very much have an imperialist history.
And?
Typically, the rule of thumb is that if you're an imperialist nation, do this shit to other imperialist nations, not to groups of people that got fucked over by imperialists.
But they weren't the
You
ones who
don't.
fucked them over.
That's not the point. I'm pretty sure, given the chance in ancient history, that like the Japan would have fucked over the Native Americans.
Other Native Americans fucked over Native Americans.
Yes, but not as hard as like colonialist Europeans did.
It was more the sickness than anything.
It was the sickness. It was treating them like savages. It was the wholesale slaughter of them just because of the fact that they were a different shade. It
Which
was
is
the
something that a lot of people did.
It was the ruining and intentional destruction of their culture, and that's for the sake of Americanizing them.
Yeah, but you know who didn't do that? The Japanese.
Are you telling me that the Japanese wouldn't have done that if they
I'm
if they
saying
ended
they
up in
didn't, so
America
who
before?
cares?
That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that this is not an equal opportunity type of thing.
And I think the point is you're making a big deal out of a very trivial game.
Not really. There is something more uncomfortable about that one character than literally anything else in there. It's not like there's a fucking sexy Zulu character.
Let's see.
I hope not, anyway. God damn. Like, I'd hope Japan would at least have the restraint to not do that. Although, who are we kidding? It's Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's sexualize a group of people that were almost made entirely extinct just because of a group of fucking assholes. That's not uncomfortable.
Lancer is Shaka Zulu, one of the greatest monarchs of the Zulu kingdom. So they have a sexy man, Zulu person.
That's slightly different because of the fact that that's just like a bare-chested man. That's not some like. I'm also going to point out the fact that among reported cases of sexual assault, Native Americans have proportionally twice as many as like other people in the US. It's an
And
entire situation of just like I, oh god, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but this. Okay, no wait, that's Lance. Is Lancer the Shaka Zulu guy?
I think a lot of them are called Lancer.
Because I'll say this right now. That is the most fucking white-looking Zulu I've ever seen.
Oh god,
Guy
I'm
looks
in a
like
Fate
he's.
fanon wiki. God damn it, that's even worse. Get me out of here. People are putting Naruto characters in this.
Oh god, that does not look like he should be part of the fucking. Oh god. Oh god, that is like the whitest character I've ever seen attributed with Zulu culture. Like,
Except probably a different one. I'm looking at something else. I
I
was
don't
looking
know.
at the wrong wiki.
I search Shaka Zulu Fate, and the immediate thing I get is this fucking.
Are you sure it's not the fanon thing?
Is this guy?
I did Shaka Zulu, and that was yeah, that guy. Okay, yeah, that's on the
Yeah.
fanon wiki.
Well, okay, that does say
That's a
fan in right
fan
there.
made character thing. Don't worry.
Is that okay? If that's fan made, then they should fucking know better. That guy looks at most North African, like god damn. So that's okay. So that actually just proves my point. My point is like in a whole thing of just. It's kind of like the whole thing of like portrayal of Romani characters, in which they're almost like portrayals of Romani characters. You end up with stuff like in Skyrim, where you have the Khajiit, which are Romani like fucking coded with their with the accent that they're given, as well as being stereotyped as thieves. Which that's a whole thing that like Romani people had to deal with, is like being all stated to be thieves and shit like that. And then any of their like actual representation in like cinema and shit, and like, oh, they're also all sexy, like sexualized,
You think the cats
but
are
not in
sexy?
an actual like, not the Khajiit, not specifically the Khajiit, the Romani people, gypsies.
I don't really know a lot about gypsies, so whatever.
They were another group of people that got fucked over.
Yeah, a lot of people get fucked over.
A not pale-skinned a not pale-skinned group of people from Europe who were basically hated by every group of people in Europe that weren't them.
Alright. Are you seriously taking a fucking anime seriously, though?
I'm saying that this is the kind of thing that needs to be thought through.
I'm saying it's literally just a game to look at really pretty pictures. If anyone's looking at that seriously for any sort of history thing, then they're mentally challenged.
I'm not saying that they should be looking at it for any sort of serious history. I'm saying,
Then who
hey,
cares?
maybe don't do the sexualized Native American thing. That's kind of fucked up.
But it's just a Japanese game. They sexualize everything. Everyone is sexualized in that. That's the entire point.
That's not my. I'm saying, hey, Japan, if you're going to sexualize things, maybe don't make it the people that nearly went extinct due to smallpox. Maybe not the people that got rounded up and put in camps by fucking Catholics.
Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure they don't know the history that well, and I don't think they care, okay?
Well, they shouldn't be doing that sort of thing if they don't know the history well.
Do you think that's going to stop them?
No, it's Japan. They're full of...
Exactly, so who cares?
I'm just saying, it should be common sense of, oh, hey, let's portray these people. Let's do some fucking research.
But still, it's
Not just
fucking Fate. They don't give a shit about that.
Not just, hey,
it's a battle anime. They care about the fights, and they just decide to do characters
let's call this
based loosely
character
on
Native
things.
American, and then have them in like stereotypical tribal war paint and put them in this skimpy little fucking outfit.
But that's what they did, and it's too late to take it back.
I'm just saying that this is a thing that people should not do. That is my point.
But people are gonna do it, so at least
That
people aren't
mean
taking them seriously for it. I'm pretty sure when people look at that Native American character, they don't go, yes, This is how all the Native Americans are like,
And
especially this tribe. I'm pretty sure nobody thinks that. This is literally harmless. It's a bit rude, but that's just life. Then again, I wouldn't care if somebody made my fucking mother into some fucking sexy anime chick and just said, "God damn, I want to fuck your mom." I really wouldn't care. Because I
Again,
know it's not my actual mom.
I'm pretty sure that nobody tried to kill your mom for the sake of God.
Well, no shit, because we live in a more sensible time.
That's my point. Like a group of people that got fucked over for fucked up reasons. Maybe you shouldn't be sexualizing.
So what should we do? Just literally have them do nothing?
Saying maybe if we're gonna portray Native Americans, don't do that. That's my point.
So what would you have
It's
them
like
do
with
for the
those
game then?
Don't put that character.
Okay, exactly.
Or
That's
if
my
you
point. So
do-
you're just trying to not have them in anything then.
No. Okay. If you're going to have that character, then maybe don't do the stereotypical sexy Native American.
Okay,
Don't
then
make
what
it
would you
look
do?
like some fucking. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, for one, I'd probably have it for that specific case, being as there are some characters in the Fate series that actually do have the gender they had in life.
I'm pretty
Make
sure
that
most of
one
them
male.
do.
Well, yes, but then you also have female King Arthur.
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
that
So
one
we've
male.
just broadened our horizons for what we can use.
Well, my point, like for that one, make him male. Maybe do that.
And then how are you
Don't
gonna make
have
him
it to
look?
where it's just some like fucking big titted lady, like big titted tribal lady.
Okay, but that's not going to sell. So you've made something that's not going to sell now.
I'm pretty sure you can one get a demographic for that, and two, I'm pretty sure there are people that use the male characters.
Yeah, I know. It's also an anime.
Like my
So you
point
don't even
is,
have to use it. You can just put it in the fucking anime.
like my point is when there is shit like this with a real fucked up history behind it, be respectful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you're looking in the wrong place for respect and expecting it from
Japan?
people that aren't going to give it. It's a
an
lost
entire
cause,
cult,
so don't worry
an
about it.
entire culture built on respect. Well, you're not gonna find respect there.
Um, who said anything about Japanese people being respectful to non-Japanese people?
Good point. You'd think that people that also got at one point fucked over by the U.S. would at least understand. I guess not.
There's just a saying in Japan about it can't be helped, right? Well, yeah, it can't be helped.
But it's one of those things. Like you'd hope that people would know better. That's my point. You'd hope
But,
people would know better. It's not a good thing that they did this. That is my point. It's
it's
not
just
something
anime.
to
Who
defend.
cares?
You know, there's a lot of shit that's just anime and still is fucked up and shouldn't exist.
Yeah, I know.
That, like,
But it
that's
does,
kind
so
of the
what are you
whole
gonna do
thing.
about it?
Hire better writers.
Well, I mean, you're not in control of these products, so, you know.
Hire someone who isn't fetishizing literal teenagers.
Well, that's just a problem in general. I'm not even gonna try to defend that. Yeah, that's
But-
fucked up. I know that that's fucked up.
As the whole, it's the whole thing. It's like you shouldn't be doing a sexualization that creates victims.
I mean, what's the story behind the character in the game?
I can't remember because I can't remember the exact Native American it is. It's not Sitting Bull.
Foreigner? What the hell do you mean foreigner? What kind of class is foreigner? Okay, hold up.
Japan, what the
okay.
fuck?
Okay. I get what foreigner is. Foreigner is like this Cthulhu fucking mythos, like tentacle monster thing. Okay. It looks like a small child, but then it grows tentacles. Foreigner is a class of servant. Okay.
Yeah, that also doesn't make things any more comfortable.
Classifying the madness upon coming in contact with an eldritch being. It's literally what they call the eldritch class.
But I'm trying, because it's not something. I think it might be, Oh God, it was that one thing that became like a saying, like a line that's like a word that you shout out when jumping off a thing.
Yeet?
No, that's for throwing a thing.
Kobe?
No, that's for throwing a thing.
Flat Escardos. What kind of name is that?
I forget the name of the character. And of course, if I just search Native American Fate, I end up with a lot different things. And if I add an anime, I found a category of cute Native American anime boys, and that is not a thing I needed to deal with.
Indigenous American servants.
Oh my God.
What the fuck, this dude? Okay, so we have Castor, which looks like an actual. Okay. This is a dude, and he looks fucking pissed. he looks like he's unhappy to be here.
I would be too if I had a title Indigenous American Servant.
No, no. That's not his name. That's his type.
I know,
Like,
that's
it's
what I'm
the
saying.
classification.
I
Like,
never said it was his name. I'm just saying I would be upset too if I had that classification.
Castor is a Castor class servant. Castor's true name is Geronimo.
Geronimo.
Geronimo is a warrior of the Apaches. Okay, so it's an Apache boy.
I know there was one that it was like they had like a stripe down their middle, like from forehead to groin.
Okay, and then they have Lancer, which is a Jaguar man, but instead of like looking anything like an actual Aztec warrior, he's just in a fucking full body tiger suit or Jaguar suit, I guess. What the hell?
Oh, maybe I've just been seeing. Why have so many people been doing gender-bent artwork of Geronimo? I think that might be what it was. It was just a whole bunch of fucking people online doing gender-bent artwork of Geronimo.
Really?
Which,
did they have like the blue thing on the top of their head?
They had
the top half of their head is blue?
No, it was more the white stripe going down the middle.
Oh, so his like lower ranks. Okay, yeah. That's fucking Geronimo. People are just doing gender bent Geronimo.
Those are so uncomfortable to come across.
So it's not even the people. They're doing a nice thing.
It's the fan art.
At the fans.
The fan art. Oh my God. Yeah, because like one of the things that pops up is Danborough, and it's like all gender bent Geronimo with like
Geronimo.
I have to look Geronimo, and it's like, no, stop, please.
You're right. This is literally just gender bent Geronimo. Here's the second page. If you look at the second page, it has Geronimo and Billy the Kid next to each other, but they're both dudes, and it's a very wholesome picture.
Oh my God, the fans are the people that have been making me uncomfortable.
Exactly, because the fans do this kind of bullshit every day.
God damn. And it's the whole. It's like you don't see like. Oh God, I hope not, because I've yet to see any fans do this sort of shit with like Pocahontas from the Disney movie. Because at least most of the fans I've yet to see.
I could easily find it if I cared to.
It's probably out there, but the whole thing is that at least most of the people that are fans of that are from the U.S. and therefore understand the actual history of that.
But also, this proves my point.
Okay, so it's not Japan.
You made a male character, and guess what? Nobody gives a shit, so they turned them into a female themselves.
Okay, so it's not Japan itself. At least it's not the studio behind Fate. That's the problem. Are all the indigenous American ones like male?
So far it looks like it.
Okay, they were actually respectful. Holy shit.
Oh, what? Are there no Native American females?
Well, not the ones that you tend to hear in
history.
Not the ones that you tend to hear in history, and that has to do with the fact that, the colonists were very much patriarchal, and those were the people keeping records, despite the fact that in a lot of Native American, different Native American cultures, it was actually women that were the property holders, and fully held the right to kick their husbands off their property.
Nice.
But, okay, so it's just the fans that are the problem right now. Got it. Okay, I'm much less uncomfortable. I went on that whole tangent just because of a bunch of fucking pervs on the internet.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of fucking basement dwellers who don't understand don't do that.
There's one female American character from Fates. It's Quetzalcoatl, though.
Okay, so the god that
Yeah.
loves humanity and gave us grain.
Wait, no, it's a man. They have it. He just looks like he has a fucking tit hole, but everything on here just says he. So
I mean, Jackie Chan also did the fucking.
wait, what the fuck? Okay, this is weird. Its actual gender is female, but it's only referred to as a he in like the history and all the things.
Well, in actual history, yeah, Quetzalcoatl is a male deity.
Yeah, okay, so even in the legend, they're like, by the way, this is a dude. We just made it a girl because shut up.
I mean, I guess if it's a god, they can do whatever they want. Which this one, I mean, there is some stuff to be said about the whole, like, blonde tribesman thing, because that just. Yeah.
I'm
But
more upset with the Jaguar man being in a fucking tiger suit.
is he in a fucking tiger? What the fuck?
Yeah, hold on, let me show you like this dude's like second stage thing.
What?
Look at this lad. Look at this lad.
Why is he so pale?
He's a happy boy too. He's not a scary warrior.
I mean, the Aztecs would fuck you up. Those were the people that dealt with the conquistadors by pouring molten gold down their throat.
You want the gold? Here it is, bitch.
Either that or sending them on like wild goose chases that likely resulted in death.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was totally a city of gold. It's way over that way, right across that path. It's just
Wait,
covered
no,
in
the Jaguar
jaguars.
man is also a female.
Is it like that one assassin character in Fate who can be either?
No, you don't really see their tits at all, except for in their last one. Because, like I said, they're in a tiger suit.
Well, I mean, there's also the. God.
He dresses like a man, though. He has a very masculine-looking body.
Well, I know that there's like that assassin that can be either or. Because it's not one of the named characters.
Yeah, here. Look at this.
Memory serves, Quetzalcoatl wasn't quite a sun god.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point he was the sun, according to Naya mythology. Anyway, we should probably continue reading. Holy shit. It's your line.
Yeah, I know. Where the fuck? Did I lose? Aw, oh, god damn it.
Since high school.
I closed the fucking page.
Why did you close the page?
I opened up so many things looking for all this fake Grand Order bullshit that I ended up losing it on accident.
Okay, so yeah, at least I know now that the people to blame are a bunch of fucking basement dwellers who can't do their fucking research.
Or people just like doing gender bents. Detective Derek Green, City Precinct. Are you friends with one Kyle Scott? What does that mean? What is the one there for?
Wait, is it the number one? What?
Yeah, one.
Okay,
one
Kyle Scott.
Tom froze and his concerns began to resurface. Kyle? Yeah, I am. The detective sighed and bit his lip as if he was trying to find the right way to say something to Tom. Look, it's probably best if you come with me. With that, a very confused Tom followed Detective Green down the hall. So, no, how long have you known Kyle, Tom? Green asked.
I will say, like, most of the times when I've seen people do gender bends, it's usually not the kind of thing where it's like, hey, switching the genders on these people makes it really uncomfortable.
You're the only one who's really getting uncomfortable, no offense.
Again, it's just with the whole history of thing and, like, real-world statistics of sexy Native American woman is kind of an uncomfortable thing to do.
Were they ugly?
I'm not saying they were ugly, it's just a whole thing.
So what's the problem?
You did hear the whole thing of, like, the disproportionate amount of sexual assaults that these people are dealing with, right?
I'm pretty sure that's with their own people, though.
Not even, no.
Alright. But, like, are these the same people going out and actually sexually assaulting them?
No, but portrayal in media typically does not that sort of thing. It's not the sort of thing where, like, media turns people into violent assholes, but if someone already has the predisposition to that, media does not help.
This isn't even like... You'd have to go out of your way to find this stuff, though. This is like some random game from Japan.
Not if you're the game.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
the
the whole
entire
thing, like
basis
that.
for my argument here. It's this
It's the whole
game
thing of like
specifically is
why.
not insulting because I this game isn't trying to be anything that supports that. It's not
Well,
trying to do
like
anything
even then,
right or wrong. It's
as you
just a
pointed
game
out,
that's trying to have a fun little story
well,
using
okay,
inspiration
as
from
you pointed out,
characters
even
today.
then, it's not the game doing that. It's the fan artists, and that fan art is really goddamn uncomfortable to me due to the whole societal background and all that shit.
Yeah, but
Like it's the whole
this
thing of
feels like the same thing when
hey,
people change like the race of characters. It's just like, okay, if you want to draw it like that, you're free to draw however you want.
it's it's the whole thing of like there is a reason I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
There
it's
is
just
a
I'm trying to say that I'm not going to agree with you on why you're uncomfortable, all right? We can sit here and we're not going to reach an impasse or an agreement on this, okay?
like all I'm saying
In
is
any
there
other
was
form, yes, I would find this insulting, especially if they were trying to parade themselves around as correct or we're doing history right or we're doing this because we inspired it based off history proper.
oh you mean like when the Disney execs said that Pocahontas had to be sexy in their movie because they were making a more an adult mature story.
Yes, stuff like that. Like Disney did it completely wrong. Don't support Disney on their history things. If I recall, even Hercules got like got people pissed off because they did Hercules
Well,
wrong
yeah,
too.
but that's because of the fact that was also a whole thing of like a Greek myth. I mean, if you get a Greek myth wrong, it's not really the end of the world, and that's not even
It's
getting into
not
the
the end of the
fact that
world if
there
you get these
isn't.
guys wrong.
I'm just saying, I feel a lot more of a oh god, what's the word I'm looking? I'm a lot more likely to get like distressed if you have this sort of shit being portrayed with like Native Americans than the Greeks.
Pretty sure if you were born in Greece, you'd feel a lot different though.
Yes, but the Greeks were assholes.
Some Native Americans were assholes.
Yes, but it wasn't an entire nation of people saying, "Oh, we need to kill everything around us."
I'm pretty sure there was nationalities of the Native Americans who thought that.
Well, yeah, there were a few different groups that were very much like war driven, but it wasn't a whole thing of, "Oh, hey, here's a new thing, kill it immediately."
I'm pretty sure they did that when they saw the Europeans come in. Some of them.
Some tribes did. Hell, the Vikings got driven off by a tribe.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like the groups that conquistadors ran in, like that, for instance, like the group that Christopher Columbus ran into were a very friendly group that were a more or less friendly group that was like, oh, hey, here's some people. Maybe we can end up like setting up some stuff with him. And oh, God, nope, he's just murdering us because he wants gold and we don't know what the shit he's talking about.
I know there's good and bad for everything, and if we're just gonna get upset over everyone portraying everything wrong, then that's what we're gonna do. These people who are coming for these things, if they're coming here for history, are just stupid.
I'm not saying that anyone should be coming there for history. It's just a whole
I'm
thing.
saying that too. They shouldn't.
It's
But
just
to
the
like
whole
get
thing
upset
of
because this dude just decided I'm gonna make a sexy Native American character is just dumb.
is just a whole thing of hey, maybe don't do that to a group of people that were nearly driven extinct because
So who am I allowed to make sexy and who am I allowed not to?
any group of people that wasn't nearly driven extinct.
Okay, so why only them?
Well, they're not the only group that nearly got driven extinct.
I know, but why can you only do it to those certain people?
Because okay, saying only to those certain people, that's like the majority of cultures in like the world.
Yeah, so the cultures that are already almost extinct and barely get any attention, I'm supposed to just ignore them and let them die?
Not ignore them and let them die, just don't turn them into your masturbation fantasy.
Okay, but like,
That's what I'm saying.
but if people are
That's what
looking for masturbation fantasies, do you really think they're here for the fucking history of these groups of people?
no, because those people are
Exactly.
all
They're here to
have
masturbate, so
deep-seated
who fucking
issues.
cares? People aren't
Those
gonna look at
people
these and
all
say,
have
"Oh, damn,
deep-seated
I love
issues
to
that should be
masturbate to some Native
reevaluated.
American titties, dog," but only because they're Native American.
Those people all have some deep-seated issues that they should probably get
Exactly. So
looked
we
at.
shouldn't worry about them. People just like looking at titties, dude.
Like, the whole thing, you don't want to be Judge Claude Frollo.
I know. Quad Frollo was an old creepy man.
Well, not even that. That in the book, he was just a average age priest who was fetishizing a Romani woman and wanted her dead.
This is
As
it's just
like,
some stupid game. And yeah,
like,
it's not the point, but like still.
like my point is, think before you masturbate.
Oh my gosh, people aren't thinking before they masturbate. That's why
Well,
they
that's
call
the
it
issue.
post-masturbation clarity.
Well, there's your issue.
Oh my, these people aren't gonna masturbate to a fucking sexy Native American and then go to a fucking village of Native Americans and try to fucking do things with them. The only people who kind of do that are the mentally challenged and deranged who need to be in jail, not your average citizen.
Point is,
God
there
damn.
are certain things that should not be sexualized. That's it.
And I think your list is a bit too long.
I don't think Native Americans, Romani people, and children is too long of a list.
Yeah, I think the one thing on that list should be children is too much. Romani people and Native Americans are fine to sexualize.
Oh my god.
Everyone lives on an even playing field of fair and unfair in this world, so everyone's free game,
Not
okay?
really. That's not how that works. It's not an even playing field at all. Believe me.
It's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying everyone have equal rights. I'm saying everyone can equally get fucked over at some point.
Just saying, there's certain people that's not the case. Anyway, the only great equalizer is Mother Nature.
And death.
Yeah, Mother Nature.
Right, okay. Sure.
Since high school, Tom replied. Without even looking at Tom, Green then asked, and when was the last time you spoke with him? Tom was growing more worried and confused. Almost 3 weeks ago, sir? Listen, what's going on? Tom pulled out a small box and started writing into a small book. Holy shit. Started writing into it as they continued walking down the hall. As he did so, he continued to speak to Tom. We had a call not too long ago about an unsanitary odor going on at dorm room number 231, Kyle Scott's dorm.
The door was locked from the inside, so somebody had to bust it down just to see what was causing the smell. As they went downstairs, Tom asked rather reluctantly, "And why did you come to me about it?" Green then spoke a bit more grimly, more hesitantly. "Well, you're his best friend, and it's probably better if you see for yourself." By the time they reached the corridor that had Kyle's door, Tom could see several police officers, students, and a few reporters. I don't think you're supposed to bring just students to other people. I think
Yeah, it's
some
kind of a
protocols
bad
being broke
writing
here.
trope of bringing people into crime scenes where they really shouldn't be there.
Yeah, this seems like a very bad protocol. Yeah.
He's with me, Green said to a couple cops as they headed towards Kyle's door. Sure enough, it was busted open. Inside, Tom saw a very unsettling sight. Kyle's dorm room was a mess. It looked like it hadn't been taken care of in weeks. It was dark. Several pieces of furniture had been knocked over. Mold was growing in some areas. Food in the fridge was rotting terribly, and the overall room just stank something awful. I guess the fridge door is open then? Tom could spot Kyle's computer sitting on the desk, open, turned off, and with the screen cracked.
He
Something
quickly
growing
ran
on the
over to
keyboard.
delete his search history.
Oh, God, it's all Gingerbit and Geronimo. You really don't want anyone
He's on
seeing
Pornhub
that.
for sexy Native American.
Oh, God. He's just been checking out that one fucking terrible online costume shops like sexy Native American and sexy fortune teller section.
I'm gonna type in sexy Native American just to see what happens.
Uh,
Ranker? What? World's best sexy Native American women stock pictures? Okay. Okay, I can see where you're coming from when they're making it a selling point. That's just a dick thing to do.
This is the whole thing. Is like when they do it, it's also the whole thing of like, oh, you also got to make them quasi-animalistic because of course you do,
Eh,
and they have
they're
to
all
be
wearing that
naive.
same headdress. It's just one Native American tribe. They're not even doing it right, you know?
Yeah. And it's also the whole thing of like the movie Avatar, which is quite possibly the movie that played the white savior trope the straight. Because at the end, the white guy takes over the tribe. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Because he's been ordained by the tribe's gods, despite having nothing to do with him for like most of his life.
This is a
But now
fucking
he's
coup if I've
here.
ever seen. Hey, next sexy Native American man. I had to scroll down a bit, but I found one.
At least it's not the Native American anime boy thing.
I actually want to look at the Native
Oh
American
god.
anime boys.
It's just a whole bunch of fucking twinks.
Mm-hmm. Alright, yeah. My parents have called me like 3 times, so let's try to finish this chapter. Because I think something fucky's going on at home. Is that my line?
Yeah, photographer.
Photographer was taking pictures of the whole scene, and 2 other people were managing a gurney that had a body laying on it. A white sheet draped completely over the body. Tom's blood ran cold when he saw the body on the gurney. Green walked him toward it.
Get
Stop,
closer, boy.
stopping the 2 men from carrying it away to show Tom. He stared at the covered body, dread on who could be under that sheet.
Green looked at Tom's face and, with unease within himself, flipped the sheet over and revealed the corpse that stared mindlessly back at Tom. Not exactly sure why its head was specifically in that direction, but whatever. The skin was pale white, eyes wide and foggy, the short blonde hair on his head unkempt, and his blood-stained mouth agape as if the jawbones had been snapped off.
It was Kyle. This
And
is
we
the
have
part
finished
where you
chapter
show
2.
him the strange note you got.
Oh god, that was stupid.
Yeah, we got super distracted. We argued a lot today. That was sure fun. Tune in next time where we get distracted by something hopefully less political. Like, I don't
less
know, what's the best cheese flavor?
less political than, something that should be common sense.
That's a